Let's go into valving. This is something that's very specific to your playing, that you're the guy who really made it what it is today. Can you describe to our viewers what it is, what changes are made, and what values are added from this technique?
Pretty simply put, half valving, the term means we put 10 valves out of a possible 20 on the harmonica. We've got 20 reeds in here, 10 blow, 10 draw, and we put a valve on the first 6 draw slots and the last 4 blow slots. And physics dictate that when I blow into any one of the first 6 holes on the harmonica, it forces that valve down across the draw slot, making the draw reed inoperable. That now means I can do a single reed bend of blow notes that were normally not bendable before. Mm-hmm. We're not doing a double reed bend anymore. We're doing a single reed bend.
Good. And to be clear, the double reed bend is in our standard bending process. Both the draw and the blow reed are interacting together, they're vibrating together.
They vibrate together to produce that tone.
So you're surpassing that?
Yeah, I'm suppressing that.
Gotcha.
We're suppressing that. And we're doing a single reed bend on notes that normally did not have an interval available to us for another note. Such as, for examples, 5 and 6. Which, coincidentally, mirror our blow bends on 8 and 9. So that's a good key right there. Keep that in mind. If you decide to go this method, what I teach first is take the technique you're using to blow bend 8 and 9 and just use that now on 5 and 6. My biggest problem doing it was the mental hurdle of being able to realize I could do it, because for 30 years I knew I couldn't blow bend 5 and 6. Yeah. The valve is only there to allow us to do it. And then conversely, the pattern changes. As we know, it goes from blow draw. At 7 we reverse to draw blow, and that's why we put the valves up here now. And what we're doing is when we draw in on 7, 8, 9, and 10, it forces that valve down across the blow plate and makes it inoperable. And now we're doing single reed draw bends on 7, 8, 9, and 10. And we get our minor third at number 7. In second position, that's how we get our minor third. So it's really it's totally opposite from overblowing. Because that same note, that same minor third, would be how an overblower would do on 6. That would be his 6 overblow. Mm-hmm. Overblow meaning the note pops up. Mm-hmm. Half valving, every additional note, valved or unvalved, is flatted. So for me it makes more sense, because first of all, it employs a technique that most of us do, bending. Secondly, it follows that same pattern of any additional notes we get on the diatonic are flatted. These are also flatted. And third, and this is what's, for me, this was the kicker for me, was the emotional content I can get with the valves in there. Because in addition to the additional notes, the plus for that is I can now shade or round off all my blow notes as well. Which is a huge emotional content. That's part of what people love about the diatonic. When we're doing like draw bends and we're able to make it kind of cry and whine. I've got that now on all the notes.
Nice. And how do you go about valving? You get a valve from Hohner and you stick them on, chromatic valves, and you stick them on there? How does
you
that go?
could. I mean, all the harmonica companies are doing it now. I mean, Hohner doesn't actually make a valved model.
Got you. And you're playing Seidel harmonicas?
I'm playing
right
Zeidels, yes.
Okay.
I've been playing Zeidels for about 4 years now, and which is a great harp and a great company, I might add. Suzuki actually makes a half valve model. Mm-hmm. The nice thing about Zeidels, starting actually with this show, is that they've incorporated the valve material that I did research on. I spent about a year. Part of what people have been turned off, those that have actually heard about half valving and decided to give it a try, have been a little bit put off by the fact that once they start to get good at it, then they start to run into problems with plastic wind savers, buzzing and rattling, and they're susceptible like a chromatic to moisture and temperature. I did a lot of research for about a year and came up with something that Zeidel is now using that really virtually eliminates all those problems. And it just makes, you don't have to think about it anymore. You can just concentrate on playing half-valved diatonic.
Nice.
Yeah.